Hey there everyone, 𝘀𝗶𝘁𝗵, physical therapist with RunSmart Online. I want to share some stuff with you that helped me in my racing because, I don't know, this seems like it's pretty common, and knowing what to eat and how to eat can be somewhat individualized to each person, but I want to share with you what works for me, and I've had some athletes do this too, and it worked out well for them. So obviously everyone's gut is a little bit different and what you're going to tolerate. I have friends that I go for a run with, and I know exactly how long I have to run for when they're in the bathroom. 0.4 miles is my one friend. And but when you go to race day, you want your fueling to fuel you for the race, so you don't bonk, so you don't cramp, so you don't do all these things, and so you don't have like a water balloon in your stomach. So how do you do that? So I'm going to share with you what I did. Now, before finding this out and figuring this out for myself, I failed miserably. A lot of time cramping, running to the outhouse, or not feeling like I had enough energy or feeling bloated. All that stuff played into this. So I definitely recommend you try this out in a training situation before you try this. Don't be racing this weekend and say, oh, I'm going to do this, because you don't know if it's going to agree with you. But here we go. Let's talk about it. If you want to learn more, before I do this, and you want some help with your training, go to tryrunsmart.com. There's a little page there. You can check out my training plans, this kind of thing, strength workouts, run form training, all that good stuff. So I kind of broke down the race for you, the week leading up to the race. So we have the lead up the day before and the race in the morning. So there's a couple things that I like to do. And the lead up is pretty simple for me. I just eat somewhat well in this stage. Lots of water. I do drink a little bit of Gatorade throughout the week, or any kind of thing that you want. If you want to use noon or whatever, drink whatever you want. I just don't eat like crap here. And then really my plan is the day before and the race morning, this is when I do most of my fueling going into the race day. So I break this day before down into 3 pyramids, or 3 sections. And the goal is that when I get to race day, I'm not hungry, so I don't want to be hungry. I don't want to be full, and I want to have energy. So how do you make that happen? Now, it takes time for the food that you take in to get through your digestive system, to get out the other end, and you need to make sure you provide that amount of time. So what I like to do this day before is I like to kind of front load most of my calories and most of the things I want to eat in the beginning of the day, so that when I don't get towards the end of the day, I'm starving and I'm trying not to eat because I know it's going to be a bad decision on a race morning. So this is what I do. So breakfast, I usually go out, and I talk about this in the taper, in my taper program, but I usually do my run in the morning. I do this little taper program that I do, and then I eat breakfast. My breakfast is BIG, big. So I eat a lot of carbs. Actually, I'm pretty known for eating as many pancakes as I can, and hash browns and things. I just take in a ton of carbs, and that might not work with you, but it worked well for me. So the key thing that I think here is making sure you eat that big breakfast. That breakfast is what's going to essentially be working through your digestive system by the time race day comes, but it's also going to be front-loaded enough so that you're not forced to have an oversized lunch or an oversized dinner, because you're going to be so full from it. And when I say how full do I get, I mean real full. So I'm not to the point of losing it all, but I eat and eat and eat that breakfast morning to fuel up. Lots of carbs here. And then what I do is, for my lunch, I have a medium lunch, and that's going to consist of a lot of pastas, nothing that's really heavy and dense, like this really thick bread and things. I eat a medium-sized pasta dish, not a lot of sauce, and a piece of bread with that. I do dabble with a little bit of butter if I want it on the bread or not, but the size of the meal is the most important. So breakfast is really big. I usually go with pancakes or French toast, to tell you the truth. Lunch is a medium-sized meal. And then dinner, the nice thing about this is if you do this properly, is when you get to dinner, you are pretty much full throughout the day. So you're going to get to dinner and be like, I'm not that hungry, I ate a lot today, and then I just feather in another pasta dish. So this is a small meal, and it has pasta involved as well. So there's carbs throughout the day, and I'm almost to the point with my dinner that I'm I don't really need to eat, I kind of want to, and I eat there. By the time the next morning rolls around, most of this stuff is working through the digestive system, so it's not going to sit in you like a rock. and sends you right to the lavatory or the outhouse throughout the race. Then what I do is I carry this into race morning. So here's what I'd like you to know is that the race morning, I always, in my athletes that use this, always eat 4 hours before race day. What that allows whatever you take in to get into your stomach, into the digestive system, so it's not going to be rattle around and cause any irritation or, you know, bathroom breaks that you don't necessarily want to take. So I go 4 hours before, and here's what I do. I do a half a bagel, and I do it with peanut butter. So the point here is that I'm taking in some carbs and some fats. The fats can actually help mobilize the carbohydrates that you're storing in and launch you towards race day. The 4 hours will make sure that you're not overly hungry for the start of the race, but you'll also be, for the lack of a better term, pretty much cleaned out by then and ready to race. During this time frame, I'm drinking just water with sips of some kind of energy or sports drink. And I also go into a salt loading protocol, which I'm not going to cover here, but I take a lot of S caps and things throughout the towards dinner here and then in the morning here. This system of a big breakfast, medium lunch, small dinner, and 4 hours before has worked really well for me. I've run Boston 6 times, but I can tell you, before getting to the point of running Boston, I failed miserably. My training was bad, my nutrition was bad, my run form was bad, and I started putting all these pieces together, and that the cumulative lift of all this information that I'm giving you is what kind of catapulted my running forward. I'm just an average athlete who got better than average results by leveraging and being a smarter runner. So hopefully this helps you. Again, don't try it out unless you can try it out in a practice run. If you want some more help with your training, check out tryrunsmart.com. I put a link in there as well. Check out the strength workouts, the injury management stuff, training plans, run form instruction. All of that stuff is going to give you a cumulative lift in your running so you can PR on race day. Hope this was helpful for you, and we'll talk to you guys soon. All right, bye-bye.